Riverlution, Hayley, Guglietta. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi. Good morning. Hi. I'm Hayley, and this is Emma, and we're representing the Riverlution Collective. I'm just going to put this up so you can look at it while I'm... how do I play that? Oh, it's playing itself. It'll play while I'm talking. So we're here representing the Riverlution Collective, which is people with interests along the Richmond part of the river corridor. So getting a perfect outcome with this settlement was never going to be easy. And from our community's point of view, we feel very much heard and commend the team involved in putting the global settlement together. We asked you as our councillors to sign this off without haste and in order for our communities to get cracking and get this done. It has been 9 years and we feel we need certainty. We are at the risk of losing the harnessed energy that we've got, and we're also at risk of losing some really cool projects in the river corridor that may not get off the ground if we don't keep moving forward. I'd just like to briefly introduce you to the Riverlution Collective. It's a group of organisations stretching the length of the river corridor adjacent to the suburb of Richmond, some of whom you'll probably hear from today, no doubt. We currently have over 20 stakeholders in our collective, representing current transitional users, proposal proponents, river corridor supporters, and other Richmond organisations. Our vision is to collectively realise the Red Zone Futures Plan for our part of the river in a community-led way for the betterment and revitalisation of our wonderful suburb. The combined collective will bring economic benefits, cost savings, mass plantings, a sense of well-being, and a damn good place to visit, not only for our surrounding community, but for the greater Christchurch and beyond. So I'm just going to hand you over to Emma, who's going to...
This is proof that the community activation is already working well to deliver what the local community wants to see and to be involved at a low cost to the council. We know from numerous research projects that there are huge benefits for community in terms of benefits to mental health, reduced issues like addiction, and increased social cohesion if there are nature-rich spaces to gather, relax, and play in. Many still feel a strong sense of loss for their homes and neighbourhoods, and having nature-rich spaces, a local and wider community can develop a sense of stewardship, a level of control and engagement, and will hopefully help to alleviate some of that's been lost. We've already seen this, what's happening in Riverlution. Local community are highly engaged, families come together, children are using the space for play and connection, celebrations and gatherings are well attended. Surrounding groups like the children from Banks Ave are keen to create spaces to play and for families to come together. The sense of engagement and empowerment that the children have gained from this project is really inspiring to see. We know that two of the main elements for building resiliency in children and communities are a connection to people and a connection to place.
Yep.
And we also know that worldwide, for a whole raft of reasons, we are facing issues as a result for children's ability to freely and safely play in their local area. The opportunity for the next generation of children in the East to reverse this is exciting. This could be happening all along the Red Zone, with neighbourhoods having new places to connect and engage with each other and with the land. Signing off this global settlement is integral to the realisation of Riverlution. We need to capture the current level of energy and enthusiasm by enabling more fluidity around transitional uses structure in order for some proposals to get off the ground and existing proposals to fly. The lease agreements need to be less restrictive and the process of applying more transparent.
So recently, I'm not very good at this. Recently, environmental great Jane Goodall came and took a whole morning off her busy schedule to spend time at the Riverlution proposals. Now, if this is not proof that a community-led project can in fact attract the lens of an international hero, then I really don't know what else we can do. So this is a time to change the narrative. We need to change it from disaster to exemplar. So we ask you to get this done, get it done quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a very powerful presentation, thank you. And I was really pleased to hear the focus on social connection and social cohesion. I think really you can't find a more important use for what was people's homes and neighbourhoods, and actually allowing it to bring neighbourhoods together actually reflects the purpose that always existed in those places. So no, it's really powerful. Thank you. Dion.
Yeah, just on the agreement around the transitional uses and things like that, we've obviously got some change potentially happening with the transitional use. Do you think that will be easier to get things done from your perspective of somebody that's getting things done in this area?
We're hoping so. So we're obviously in a great position where we've got our a lease in place and we're getting things done. But the likes of the work that Emma's doing, I don't want to answer that because you're in that position.
Just the kind of the restrictiveness of the length of lease, and when the end of clause is sort of restricted if you're bringing in materials and then you know that you've only got a short time before you've got to remove everything again.
And is that restricting getting investment to make these things happen as well?
Yeah, investment, and also just that, everybody's got limited amount of time and energy for projects, and if there's some security in the long term, easier.
We'd certainly find Riverlution, for example, there's lots of proposals within that collective that are sitting waiting because of the time it takes and the restrictions on the leases to get things moving. Yeah.
Yanni?
Yeah, thank you for the work that you're doing. I've seen it firsthand. I don't know if you've had a chance to kind of look at the whole budget for the red zone and how that money will be spent, and whether you would want any sort of engagement, consultation around that.
Absolutely, and so our thoughts are that if we are enabled to get our projects off the ground, then long term it would then reduce the cost for the council, because those maintenance costs would then get absorbed into what we're doing, and hopefully we find ways of being more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So certainly yes, yeah. And we would also like to see that be engaged in that process of where the money gets spent, because it makes more sense to spend it where there's activation, to get some infrastructure done where there's actual activation in the first place, rather than somewhere where there's nothing happening.
Right. So maybe, a clause as part of this that would enable us to consult on the 300 million, or some of that money that's tagged within the 300 million around the red zone might be helpful.
That's certainly the outcome that the community would want, is consultation on that process. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yep. Pauline?
Thanks. Sorry if this is obvious and I've missed it, but are you an incorporated society and a charitable state?
No, we're operating as a collective, so which shows the level of enthusiasm amongst the people that are working on this. Yes, yeah. And it's most likely that it will stay that way for now. Yeah, because each proposal sits in its own capacity. So,
can a collective get charitable status? In other words, I'm thinking of if you could be able to fundraise for assistance outside of council.
each proposal is looking at that anyway.
Yeah.
So this is our point, is that we as individuals and a wider group are taking away some of those costs from the council. Yeah, cool. By what we're doing. Yeah.
Great.
Are there any barriers to transitional use that you would want us to look at in terms of the global settlement?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, one of the biggest...
That was not planned. Sorry.
Absolutely. The length of the lease.
Yep.
The 30-day clause, which has been extended, but still for some outside funders, again, reducing the council's input in finding outside solutions, having a long-term out clause to enable us to get funding from private funders and other sources. Yes, absolutely.
What's the 30-day clause gone to?
180, I think, 6 months. Yeah, but still, for some funders, that's too much of a risk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't actually understand it myself. It doesn't make sense
Doesn't make
because
sense to us either.
it seems to me that the original 30-day clause was modelled on what was happening in the CBD, but the CBD model was specifically designed for, you know, the gap filler type arrangement where you know, gap filler would go in there knowing that they've got 30 days to shift if they need to, because you know, business development might be going ahead, you know, so it made sense in the CBD, it makes no sense in the residential red zone. So
Absolutely.
we will continue to raise this,
Wonderful.
but it might be quite good if we could find a resolution through this process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because there's some good projects that really could fly right now
I know.
if that was removed.
And the thing is that I don't think that we should be frightened. I mean, this is an intergenerational project, the red zone. This is not something that's going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in the next 10 years either. And, you know, there is potential for transitional projects to morph into the permanent use.
Absolutely.
And I think that we should not let that opportunity get lost in a whole lot of detail about who's making what decision, when and how. So
Thank you.
that will be at forefront of mind, I think, on Thursday when we come to make a decision.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.